Hello and welcome to the workshop. Just going to do a quick video today on using the phone exchange to test phones out. First of all, we're just going to make sure everything's wired up correctly on the phone exchange. So we have an extension cable connected to line 1 with one of the adapters, and if we put a meter on the little holes where the screws are in the adapter, we should have around 25 to 30 volts. If not, then try another lead and adapter, and also just make sure that the meter probes actually touch the little screws in the holes of the adapters. And we should also have the green light on as well. So now that we have ascertained that the exchange and the cable and the adapter is all working great, then what we're going to do is connect a telephone up to line 1. If your telephone has just got bare wires, then you just need to connect them to the adapter as per the instructions. If not, then just connect a second adapter as shown and then plug the telephone cable into that second adapter. So you can see we've got the extension cable, the two adapters wired together. If all is well, then we're ready to do our first test, which is a test for a dial tone. The dial tone is like a buzzing noise. So basically you'd lift the receiver up and have a listen for this noise. If you hear the dialing tone, then that's great. That means we can then just carry on with a few other tests. If there's no dialing tone, then that means there's a problem with the phone. We're now going to check voltages under different states. First of all, we're going to check the voltage of the receiver down on the telephone. That should be around 25 to 30 volts. Again, make sure the meter probes are pressed in firmly so that they make contact with the screws. And of course, don't touch the metal on the probes because there are high voltages there. We should see around 25 to 30 volts still as shown. Now with the receiver picked up, that voltage should drop somewhere between 5 and 10 volts. If it's a little under or a little over, no real big deal. It should be between 5 and 10 volts. Any more than 15 would indicate a problem. So we're now going to dial a number, and if you look at the meter when we dial the number, when the dial springs back, you should see the meter jumps up and down. So you can see the voltage goes higher and the meter jumps up and down. If the meter's jumping up and down, that's great. That means that the dial part should be working fine. So now that we've ascertained that that telephone is working fine, we can now use that telephone to check other telephones out. So what we're going to do now, we're going to wire a second phone into line 2, and we'll be checking to make sure that the telephone rings. So telephone 1 working, still plugged into line 1. Line 2, you can see now we've got it plugged into our test phone as it were, and we've got our meter hooked up into the adapter as you can see, and we have, what do we have here? We have our 25 to 30 volts. So we just go down, just double check. Yep, 25 to 30 volts, that's fine. So what we're going to do now, we're going to switch over to either a 250 or 1000 volt range. And again, make sure that you don't touch the metal parts of the probe while this is being done. We're now going to call line 2 from line 1. And what should happen, once we've called line 2, the voltage on the meter should start jumping up and down at a high voltage, as you can see. Every time it jumps up, that is a ringing pulse being sent to the second telephone. If the voltage is going up but the phone's not ringing, then that would indicate a problem with the phone, either a capacitor or an open circuit coil or something or other. So that's basically how to check the phones. Any questions, just write them in the comments. And just a little side note, we're working on a brand new channel at the moment called Let's Build It. I'll send that link in the comments as well. It's a channel that we're going to use to be to actually build some little projects, radio projects, communication projects, little simple circuits, all sorts of things. So that'll be another channel we'll be working on. Join us over there if you want to have a little tinker. Thank you again for watching.